Okay, everybody. I noticed a few of you still struggling with the unit circle with radians. I feel like you're making it harder than it should be, so I'm going to clear up something that should help. Hopefully, anyways. So, again, this was one of the assignments I gave you. And I went ahead and searched it. And that's something you could do, by the way, in Khan Academy, is search things that you want to study. And so there it is. I'm going to click on this link right here. And here was our first set of problems. Now, the thing I want to clear up, approach it slightly differently than before, is understand that pi radians is just another way to measure angles and rotation, okay? Is equivalent to 180 degrees. So what does that mean? Well, when I go directly to the right, that's 0 degrees. If I rotate and go straight up, you ought to know that's 90 degrees. If I keep going another 9 degrees, in other words, I'm pointing the exact opposite way, that's 180 degrees, right? And if I go 90, in other words, pointing straight down here, that's 270 degrees. And if I keep rotating all the way around another 90, I'm at 360. So in other words, whenever you do a full circle, it's 360 degrees. Now, pi, remember, is the same thing as 180. So that means from here to there is pi. Okay? If I only go halfway, 90 degrees, that's pi over 2. So you ought to actually kind of memorize, half of 180 is 90, so 90 is pi over 2. Okay? So anything that's smaller than half of pi is going to be in the first quadrant here. You see? Anything that's bigger than 90 but less than 180 is going to be, well, obviously it's going to be less than pi and bigger than pi over 2. So, for example, somewhere over here would be 2/3 pi. I just made that up. Any fraction less than a full pi but bigger than a half of a pi is going to be in quadrant 2. Okay? And of course, anything bigger than 180 or bigger than pi, for example, what happens if I make this up, guys, 5 pi over 4, do you understand that would be in quadrant 3? Because 5 pi over 4, 5/4 of a pi is a little bit bigger than 1 pi. And remember, 1 pi is 180. But anyways, let's just go through these problems together. Here we go. So they're asking for this point A here. Notice it's in quadrant 2, right? So could A possibly be pi over 3? Isn't pi over 3 1/3 of a pi, which is less than half of a pi? And remember, half of a pi is 90 degrees, right? Well, obviously, point A is in quadrant 2. It's bigger than pi over 2, and it's less than pi. So look at your other answers. This is bigger than pi. This is bigger than pi. 11 over 6 is 1 5/6. 9 over 7 is 1 2/7. The only logical choice, guys, for A is 3 pi over 4. It's 3/4 of a pi. Okay? All right, what about B here? Again, could B be pi over 3? No, pi over 3 is over here somewhere. It's probably about like right here. Okay? Actually, a little bit bigger than that. Pi over 3 would probably be more like right there. It's 1/3 of a pi. Remember, pi is half of a circle. So b here is bigger than pi. So could it be 3/4 of a pi? No, we already did that one. That one was point A right there. So here's our two choices. Now remember, 9/7, guys, is 1 2/7 of a pi. 11/6 would be 1 5/6. 1 5/6 is almost 2, right? That's almost 2. So does everyone agree the only one that's a little bit bigger than 1 is 9 pi over 7? Finally, they're asking you for C, and we actually already just figured it out. It's got to be that one, right? Remember, this one's 1 5/6 of a pi, which is almost 2 pi's. Remember, 2 pi would be a full circle. That would be 360 degrees. 360 degrees is the same thing as 2 pi, just like 180 degrees is the same thing as pi, right? Because it takes 2 180s to make a 360, so it takes 2 pi's to make a 360, or a full circle. All right, so we got that one done. So now, guys, the other thing I've been trying to get you to memorize, if you don't totally understand, is x is your cosine of the theta angle. Y is the sine. So when they said sine, what do they want? They want the y. And we already figured out that 11 pi over 6 is c, right? So the sine of 11 pi over 6 is the y for c. So that's why, I guess I didn't put the choices there, but down here you would say it's the y coordinate of point C, basically. Okay? All right, next one. Notice they're asking for the sine of pi over 2. Now, guys, pi over 2, sorry, my picture got it chopped off. Let's see if I can't fix it there. Oh, that's a little bit better. A little bit better. Let me shrink it down, actually, so you can see the whole thing. But anyways, starting over here real quick. They're asking for the sine of pi. Remember, sine is the y coordinate. Pi over 2 is point A up there. Right? Remember, pi over 2 is 90 degrees. So they want the y of point A. Okay? And again, I didn't put the menu there. So you want the y coordinate of point A. That's basically your answer. All right, let's do one more. Notice how they're telling us that right there is pi over 5 times bigger than the 180. Now remember, 180 is pi. Let's do a little math here. Do you agree pi is really 5 pi over 5? Right? Because 5 over 5 is 1, right? Well, if you agree from here to here, therefore, is 5 pi over 5, I'm going another pi over 5, more. So what's 5 pi plus pi? 6 pi over 5. They want the x-coordinate of point A. Now, point A this time is 6 pi over 5, right? So if they want the x for point A, they want the cosine. So the one thing I want you to start remembering, guys, is x is cosine. Cosine is x on a unit circle. Y is sine. Sine is y on the unit circle. So down here, guys, let's see if I have the menu here. Yes, I do, finally. I'm going to pick D. It's the cosine because they wanted the x of that point A, which was 6 pi over 5. Guys, you have to struggle with this. Get a little bit more familiar with how radians work. Especially the beginning of my video here, guys, where I was talking about pi over 2. 270, by the way, would be 3 pi over 2. You see, because 3 over 2 is 1 1/2 pi. And see, follow the green here. If I do that, that's a pi. If I do that much further, that's another half. That's why that right there is 3 pi over 2. 1 1/2 pi. So guys, hopefully this helps you a little bit more. Please keep struggling until you get it, guys. Like I said in my previous video, tomorrow we'll start on something different and new. See you around.